If you just moved here to Poland or if you're visiting, you might notice that there are some things that are very different. For me, some of them were cultural shocks. So I compiled a list to go over some of the things that I found very surprising. And so let's get into this. Now, if you're watching TV or even streaming applications, this was something that was very surprising for myself. If you go to a Polish home and they're watching a show that's not in Polish, you're gonna hear another voice. What's up, dude? What are you up to right now? I'm about to watch the movie Field of Dreams. Dude, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well.
Jeśli go wybudujesz, przyjdzie.
What the hell was that voice? What voice are you talking about? That voice, that narrative. Oh, you mean the Lektor? Is that what you call it? Yeah, the Lektor. You see here in Poland, instead of reading subtitles, we have a narrative that speaks to us in our language. That doesn't distract you? No, we're really used to it. And for many Polish people, they watch movies and shows like this. And sometimes it could be kind of shocking, especially if you hear a young girl or a woman talk about women and girly things, and you hear a man's voice talk for them. But another thing I'm not used to is if you watch a movie on TV at night or even a medical show, they will show you nudity, nothing graphic. And keep in mind, it is at specific times. For example, I was watching a show with my family about breast cancer, and I'm seeing a woman who's showing her breast for the mammogram, and I'm like, they don't blur this out like in the United States. Because if you ever visit America television is more prude, which is ironic because everything in the States is overexposed. But if you come to Poland and you watch a medical show, they will show you nudity. And that was different. I wasn't used to that. I asked my wife, I'm like, is this normal? And she said, yeah, why wouldn't it be? Like,
what the hell is wrong with you?
Another example about TV is when a commercial shows. They have a thing called Reklama. And I believe this is EU law, and it just tells people that this is a commercial and not the actual show that you're watching.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And speaking of getting used to how things are done here, let's talk about getting a haircut. I know not every single Polish person experiences or they do this,
but for me and my own personal experience,
you have to schedule a haircut. Now you could go there and see if they have an opening, but many times you're gonna have to sit there for a long time. And it's not guaranteed that they're gonna have room to give you a haircut.
My schedule wouldn't allow it.
So based on my experience, I would recommend just schedule the haircut. It's just gonna make your life so much easier.
Easy.
Did you know once you land a job here in Poland, you have to get a medical exam? I did not know that. I did not know I had to go to the doctors and in essence get a physical and see if I am healthy enough to do this type of work.
Please just tell us, is Peter healthy?
Oh yeah, he's fine. He's just really fat.
We don't do that in America. I think for some jobs, you should have some sort of evaluation, especially mental evaluation in the States because people have gone mental.
He got fired, y'all, and this is what he's doing. Oh my God. Oh my God. He is tearing up the building. He got fired.
But also speaking of work, especially if you just moved here to Poland, finding work in Poland, if you're only an English speaker, is extremely difficult. So if you do have expectations that,
yes, I moved to Poland and I'm American and I can find a job very easily.
Yeah, I was humbled real fast in that department. I'm just letting you know. Finding work in Poland if you're only an English speaker, and I know, I can hear people in the background.
we also have hard time finding work here too.
Excuse me, finding work here in Poland can be very challenging.
Well, that sucks.
Once you're in public, you might notice some details about people. You will notice that the ring finger, it's on the right hand. And the reason why is, Poland wears their wedding band due to a historical shift after 1863, as known as the January Uprising. This is when women moved their rings to their right hand to mourn the husbands and the fallen soldiers. And due to that, it became customary, it became part of the culture. So if you're married and you move here to Poland, put your wedding band on your right hand.
One ring to rule them all.
If you are a citizen or you married to a Polish citizen and you decide that you want to have children, the government support here is a massive shift than what you experience in America. For example, if you have one or more children, the Polish government will give you 800 złotych per month.
Tłusty!
I forgot to mention it's 800 złotych per child, tax-free. and there is no limit. So if you have 10 kids, you get 800 Czwartek per child. And not only that, you're also given a long maternity leave, and each year the parents will get 2 days off from work paid to be able to spend time with their family. You don't necessarily need to be a parent. Anyone who's legally allowed to work in Poland are able to get these 2 days off.
Excellent!
This blew my mind. This is nothing like America. That is the entire high school experience. Let me break this down, and hopefully I get this right. When you're in grade 8, you take a test, and this test will determine which high school you get to go to.
You gotta hit it, you gotta nail it, you gotta kill it. This has to be perfect.
You see, you get to choose which high school. So let's say, for example, in Krakow, there are 30 high schools. Within those 30 high schools, you get to choose which high schools you want to go to.
You must choose. But choose wisely.
And once you sort out which school you're going to be going to, this is when you can choose your profile. You can hit pause if you want to know what a profile is. And this is where I find it very interesting about Poland. There are 3 paths these kids can take. First path is the academic path. So in essence, it is a 4-year program for academic preparation for universities, where students pick a profile. So if their focus is in English, the primary courses are going to be English-based. If they're focused in math or science, the primary going to be focusing on math or science. But of course, you'll still take general knowledge courses.
Of course!
The second choice is to study the academics and the trade. So for example, if your child knows they want to be a software engineer, they could take their academic classes, but also have a huge focus preparing them for becoming a software engineer. And that usually takes about 5 years.
When I grow up, I want to be a big word.
And if your child doesn't want to do academics, they can learn a trade. And I think learning trade is a great thing to do because you're always going to need a plumber and you're always going to need electricians. And this takes 3 years, which leads them straight into the workforce.
Ready to work.
So at the end of their final year, they take a test called the Matura. And the Matura is like a final exam. And I believe the technical school, there's 2 Maturas. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But the Matura test will really determine which university that your child will be able to get into.
No pressure.
Moving into apartments and flats brings its own set of rules, especially when it comes to bills and pressing elevator buttons.
Okay, here's the electric bill.
This is how much we pay for electric?
Well, yeah.
And so my cursory understanding is that all the utility bills is under the building's name. And then the administration or the management divides that information. They have these little meters by your flat, and then they can actually divide all the information based upon how much usage you've used. And that's how much you're going to pay. Sometimes you're going to pay more, sometimes you're going to pay less. And so if you pay more, of course, they're going to give you that money back or credits for your next bills. And if you pay less, they're going to be asking for next couple of months for you to pay more. And I believe they check on this every 3 to 6 months.
Just checking.
And the elevators.
What floor are you on?
I'm on the ground level floor.
No, you're not.
The first floor.
Yeah, that's not where the ground level is. The ground level is 0.
Wait, you're telling me 0 is the ground level?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
What the hell's the first floor?
The first floor.
Okay, but that's not how it works in America.
This isn't America, dummy.
That's a good point.
I don't think we're in America anymore.
And finally, we're going to be discussing some very important celebrations. So the first one is Wigilia, which is their Christmas celebration on December 24th. And trust me, down the road, I'm going to make content about this. And don't make this mistake on Wigilia if you ask one of the little kids,
Hey, did Santa come and visit you today?
because St. Nicholas Day, or Santa, is celebrated on December 6th.
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
And just so I'm not glazing over Wigilia, Wigilia is probably the largest celebration here in Poland.
It's true.
But some unique traditions they have with Wigilia. Sometimes there's a carp that might be swimming in your bathtub. Yeah, that's a thing. Or maybe it was a thing. I don't know. I get conflicting information that people still do this or it's not done anymore. But carp is traditionally the main dish for Wigilia. Poland goes hard for Christmas. You see, they have Wigilia, they have Christmas Day, but they also celebrate second day of Christmas.
We've had one, yes, What about second breakfast?
That's a lot of Christmas. And I'm down for that. And some other holidays that are honestly worth mentioning, celebrating All Saints Day. In America, we celebrate Halloween. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me candy, bro. But on November 1st, Poland celebrates All Saints Day. What you do is you go and you visit the cemetery and you give respects to family members. And it's really beautiful, especially at night when it's foggy and you see all the candles and it's a little damp in the air. And there's just, I don't know, there's that atmosphere.
I like it a lot.
And some other honorable mentions. Fat Thursday. Do you like donuts?
Go nuts.
But on Fat Thursday, you get to eat as much donuts as you want, or punchki. I prefer punchki over the American donuts because punchki is amazing. And my last honorable mention is Śmigus-dyngus. Śmigus-dyngus? Śmangos-dangos? Śmigus-dyngus. Śmigus. What? Śmigus-dyngus. That's the best you're gonna get, Poland. And what it's known for is you throw water at women. Just get a big bucket and you dump it on them. Reasons? Because.
It's called Śmigus-dyngus, a legit Easter Monday holiday where people ambush each other with water, and no one's safe, not even grandma. Imagine waking up, it's a peaceful spring morning, and then bam, someone dumps a bucket of water on your head. It actually dates back centuries, with roots in pagan spring rituals. Originally, boys would splash girls they liked, very romantic. Nowadays, it's everyone versus everyone. Water balloons, water guns, hoses, full-blown street fight. You go outside? Careful, you may get soaked. Some towns even organize official water fights with hundreds of people. It's like Easter meets a water park.
And a less important celebration is Name Day. A lot of Polish people don't celebrate this, but many do. And what Name Day is they celebrate their name.
No way.
I don't have a name day here in Poland. So if you're watching this, today's my name day because I said so. There. And I'm not 100% familiar with the history, but what I do recall is based upon Catholic calendar traditions with their saints and celebrating their names. So once again, please let me know in the comments more about this. And if you celebrate Name Day.
What's your name?
Again, because when I made this video before, we don't celebrate Name Day. I don't celebrate Name Day. How dare you? I'm just letting people know what I experienced. But if I offended you because I talked about Name Day, I'm such a horrible person, right? I'm just, God, I'm awful. And so these are some of the things I found were a bit of a culture shock. So if you're new to Poland, or even if you've been living here in Poland for a while, please let me know what some of your culture shocks have been. My goal is to get to 5,000 subs because YouTube would then look at my channel as, wow, this is a legit channel. And if this content brought value, please subscribe, like, and hit that hype button so then it can be shown to many more people. So thank you everyone for watching. And if you stayed to the end, you are true legends. And so with that said, and without further ado, let's get into this.